Guys, so in today's video we'll be discussing about Kasol in the month of April 2025, what you should be expecting in terms of weather, road condition, the places that you should be visiting, the treks that will be open, and most of all what is the budget and the kind of clothing and gear that you need to be carrying for your trip to Kasol in Parvati Valley in the month of April. Now keep in mind that winter has arrived late this year, so it's the month of March that winter has started coming in. That is, snowfall and the heavy rainfall has started. So the most of the places in Parvati Valley in the upper regions have received snowfall. Basically, Malana, Kirganga, the village of Grahan, and so on have plenty of snowfall. So when you're planning a trip in the month of April, be prepared for a mixed bag when it comes to the weather. So starting off with the daytime temperature will range from anywhere between 12 degrees to 22 degrees, while the night temperature will be anywhere between 3 degrees to 10 degrees. Now this temperature range depends entirely on which part of the place are you in. Now in places like Kasol and I would say even in the lower places like Chalal and Manikaran, it will be slightly warmer as compared to what you will expect the temperature to be in places like Tosh, in Pulga, in Grahan, Malana and Kirganga. The chances of rain is pretty high, so you can expect an occasional shower here and there. It can even snow in higher parts like Kirganga, Tosh and Malana. So when you're planning on visiting Kasol in the month of April, carry, I would say, your umbrella, a small 3-fold umbrella, and also carry along with you your winter clothing, because you will definitely need plenty of winter wear since the nights are going to be really cold and chilly in Kasol. Now when it comes to the treks that will be open, the trek to Rashol will definitely be possible, the trek to Grahan will be possible, even Kirganga trek will be possible. Just make sure that you have inquired about the route, whether the route is all safe and good to go, and the best way to get information about this is to ask the locals a day or two prior before you embark on your trek. Now when it comes to what are the other places that you should be visiting, Tosh village is a default village that you should be visiting. The village of Pulga, Kalga. I would even recommend visiting the village of Chalal, which is a beautiful village on the river bank. It's the base village, rather the start point to the trek to Rashol. Just make sure that when you're you're in Parvati Valley, you're not really looking around for the charas, the hashish, which is easily available, because this can lead to a lot of complications. If you're busted, there are always police officers roving in civil clothing and in their uniform, who are looking out for tourists who are looking to source the drug and to maybe even take the drug back. So if you're planning on going to Parvati Valley and returning home with a couple of tolas or more, it's going to be a big risk, because if you're busted, you will have to pay a heavy fine, and you could even have a case registered against your name in the Kulu police station. So avoid getting stuck up in this hassle, and just make merry when you're in the valley. Buy whatever you want, consume it in the village that you are in, and then move to the next place. Do not try to carry it from one place to another place, because even on the trek to Kirganga, there have been times when the polices have been waiting for you in the village of Naktan or along the way, and have checked people and even busted them and even taken them down to the Jari police station. So avoid getting busted by the cops and humiliating yourself and putting yourself in an embarrassing situation. Just go there for the natural beauty and for the good food, and most of all for the trek and the river. Now when it comes to what you should be expecting, you should expect lush greenery in the month of April usually. So by default, even if it is raining, you can expect greenery overall. Winter has gone in and spring has started in, so by default you will get to see snow-capped mountains. You'll get to see the beautiful view of the river blending in with the greenery and the snow-capped mountains. It's ideally one of the best months to go for photography. So if you're someone who really likes photography, then the month of April is the best time to be going there for your photography endeavors. If you're someone who likes creating content, Parvati Valley in April is at its best. Now when it comes to costing, keep in mind that Kasol is overall a costly place. On the weekends it's going to be even more costlier. So if you're planning a trip and you're planning on staying for a longer period of time, my personal recommendation is plan your trip over in such a way that you reach Kasol, especially I would say on a Monday or a Tuesday, because that's when you'll get the best deal. Friday to Sunday it is really costly. The cost of a room over the weekend will be anywhere between 1500 rupees to 4000, and on the long weekend, which is a Good Friday long weekend, you can expect it to be costly from Thursday till Sunday, where the rooms will skyrocket to anywhere between 2500 to 5000 rupees, depending on the category of room and the kind of deal that you can crack. So during the long weekend, if you're planning on going to Parvati Valley, I would personally recommend to go to places which are lesser expensive, like hiking up to maybe Grahan village, where you can get a cheaper deal, maybe 1000 rupees, or going to places like Rasol. Or if you are looking at staying close to to Kasol, then you can consider the village of Chalal and Choj, which are not very far away from Kasol, but will give you a much cheaper deal when it comes to accommodation. Just make sure that you're not carrying trolley bags if you're planning on going to these villages, because it's going to be really difficult for you to move around with a trolley bag or a suitcase or even a duffel bag. The best bag that you can travel to Parvati Valley is with a backpack. A rucksack is the only way to get around Parvati Valley without having to burden yourself or anybody else and struggling to make the journey. Now, public transportation is available all over Parvati Valley, so you wouldn't really have a problem until and unless it starts to snow and the road gets closed, and then you'll have to take a vehicle to maybe Barasheni, which is the start point for the trek to Kirganga. Kirganga trek is also easily doable in the month of April, just that you'll have to stay a night at the top. It's pretty much useless to hike up and return back the same day and miss out on the camping experience that Kirganga has to offer. So when you're planning your trip to Kirganga, just make it happen by hiking up, staying the night, and then returning back the next day. Now, when it comes to the costing for a week-long trip to Parvati Valley, I would say if you're planning on traveling solo, it would be really not very affordable as what it used to be. You'll need a budget of minimum 15,000 rupees if you're traveling solo. If you're okay with staying in hostels, then it can come down a little bit. Maybe you'll end up saving 2-3,000 over there. So anywhere between 10 to 12,000 if you're planning on staying in hostels. But otherwise, it's not really an affordable trip for a solo traveler. If someone who's looking for to do a 1 week trip in, I would say 7-8,000, it's pretty much impossible to do that with your food, stay, and your travel from Delhi, unless and until you're okay traveling in non-AC buses and staying in really shady hotels and homestays which are far away from the main part of Kasol. Even in Kirganga, if you're planning on going for the trek, you will not get a tent for a solo person for less than 1,500-2,000. That is also a lower limit amount that I've told you, because it's pretty steep when you're traveling over there. So the best way to go to Parvati Valley is to book a trip. If you're someone who's looking for a trip, we do have trips to Parvati Valley and Kasol in the month of April. You can check out the link in the description, which will take you to our website where you'll get all the details for our trips. If you're interested, you can directly book from our website, or you can WhatsApp us from the website button, and our sales team will be more than happy to help you with your queries related to our trip. If you have any other further queries related to Kasol and Parvati Valley, you can leave a comment in the comment section, and we'd be more than happy to help you in the comment section. Now, when it comes to the gear that you need to be carrying, you definitely need an umbrella, you definitely need your woolen wear, and make sure that you carry at least, I would say, 5,000 rupees in cash from home for a 1 week trip, because ATMs in Parvati Valley are pretty much unreliable. UPI payments really and other form of QR payments work well in Parvati Valley. But if by chance you end up going to a place where you do not have network and cash is the only form of payment, you're going to really struggle, or you'll have to end up swiping your card for an extra amount which is simply not worth it. So by default, my personal recommendation is just carry at least minimum 5,000 rupees. If you can carry more in cash, it's very good. But really do not rely on going to an ATM in Kasol, because there's just one, and that's usually always out of money. The only other place that you'll find an ATM close by is in Manikaran, but again, it's a hit and miss, because if it doesn't have cash, you don't have any other option, because the valley doesn't really have any other ATMs other than these two. Now, when it comes to the final thing, that is how do you go about planning your trip, my personal recommendation is avoid going during the long weekend during Good Friday, because that's the time when it's going to be really crowded, and it's going to be extremely costly also. So if you can plan your trip before that and after that, it's a very good time to be going to Parvati Valley. Other than the Good Friday weekend and on other weekends, Parvati Valley and Kasol will be really affordable. So you'll get a room for as low as 800 rupees, and it's going to be a fun experience in the month of April. So till our next video about Kasol, stay safe, stay happy, and stay blessed. Peace.